All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about A.R. Barton's short story, Going Places. And trust me, it's this incredible deep dive into the mind of a teenage girl, Sophie. It just perfectly captures that whole world of adolescent fantasizing, hero worship, and the hard reality that often gets in the way of our biggest dreams.
So let's meet Sophie. She's our main character, a teenager with these absolutely huge ambitions. But her reality is kind of keeping her stuck right where she is.
And this is the very first thing we hear from her. It's not a wish, it's a statement. When I leave, I'm going to have a boutique. You can just feel the certainty in it. This is the dream she is holding on to for dear life.
And this is where you really see the gap, right? On one side, you've got the life she's dreaming up, owning a boutique, being an actress, or a fashion designer. And then there's the other column, the reality. A job at the biscuit factory, which she's already earmarked for, and a family that just needs a decent house to live in. It's a huge contrast.
And this image, it really shows us why she needs those dreams so badly. Her home is described as just suffocating. It's cluttered, it's steamy, and it's a constant physical reminder of the life she is so desperate to escape.
And just in case she forgets about her reality for a second, her dad is right there to bring her crashing back down to earth. With just one sentence, he totally dismisses her dream and ties it to the heavy, practical needs of their family.
So how does she cope? How does she escape? Well, she creates a fantasy, a secret. And it's a secret she only shares with one person, her quiet older brother, Jeff.
So why Jeff? Of all people, why him? Because to Sophie, Jeff represents this whole other world. He has a job, he has a life outside their small house, he goes to places she's never been. His silence to her isn't empty, it's filled with this mystery, and she just wants a piece of that world.
And boom, here it is. The incredible secret she drops on him. I met Danny Casey. She's created this amazing story about a real-life meeting with the famous young Irish football star.
Now, Danny Casey isn't just some random football player. The story calls him a prodigy, an innocent genius. That's so important. It makes him the absolute perfect hero for a fantasy like Sophie's. He's not just a celebrity, he's something pure, something special.
And just look at the details she cooks up. She doesn't just say, "Oh, I met him." No. She gives Jeff a play-by-play. The arcade, Royce's window. She spoke first. They talked about clothes. And the best part, he asked to meet her again. These are the little things that make her fantasy feel so real.
But even Jeff, the one person she trusted, doesn't really buy it. His reaction says it all. It's the unlikeliest thing I ever heard. It just goes to show you how fragile her story is from the very beginning.
As you can probably guess, a secret like this was never gonna stay secret for long. Sophie begged Jeff not to tell anyone, but the story starts to spread. Her private little fantasy is about to unravel in the real world.
Her dad's reaction is pretty much what you'd expect. He just shuts it down immediately. He thinks it's just another one of her wild stories, and he warns her she's going to get herself into trouble. There's zero curiosity, just total dismissal.
And then this happens. The moment she was probably dreading, her practical, down-to-earth friend Jancy confronts her. The secret's out. It's not just her and Jeff's story anymore, it's public knowledge, and now it's up for debate.
So now we're at the moment of truth. The fantasy is about to have its ultimate test. To keep this story alive, even for herself, Sophie has to see it through. She actually goes to the meeting spot to wait for Danny Casey. Look at the place she chooses. It's so romantic, right? A quiet path by the canal, a bench under a tree. It's the perfect stage for her dream to come true. She's not just waiting, she is living inside her fantasy, completely expecting him to walk up at any second.
But as time goes on, and she's just sitting there, alone, you can feel the fantasy starting to crumble. She feels those pangs of doubt. For the first time, the quiet, empty reality of that bench starts to challenge her perfect story.
And then we get these 4 simple, brutal words. He will not come. That's it. The dream hits a brick wall. There's no more hoping, no more imagining. It's just a hard, cold fact. Now, you'd think that would be the end of it, right? Dream over. But this is where the story gets really interesting. Because for Sophie, when a dream is proven to be false, it doesn't just disappear. It changes. So instead of going home feeling defeated, she does something else entirely. On her walk home, she starts to replay the meeting in her head.
Not the part where she waited alone, but the part that never even happened.
And here's the amazing part. In her imagination, the details get even sharper. His voice, the shimmer in his green eyes, his shy smile. The imagined meeting becomes way more real to her than the actual disappointing wait ever was. This way, the story becomes truly hers.
And now we get it. We finally see what this was all about. It was never really about meeting Danny Casey. It was about having a story, a beautiful, special secret that was only hers. It's her shield against the disappointing world.
Which, of course, brings us to the big final question the story leaves us with. After all that, did she really meet him? Was there even a tiny grain of truth to any of it?
But in the end, does it even matter? Maybe what's more important is what that fantasy gave her. It was an escape. It made her feel special, and it gave her a little bit of hope in a world that wasn't offering her much. It really shows you that sometimes the places we go in our heads are the only things that keep us going.